All right, hey guys, today's the 7th of February, 2025. I'm at work on my lunch break. I've got a few minutes. So I didn't really plan a video. I just want to kind of talk about some stuff that's been happening. Um, live, live in Canada, as most of you probably know. Run my own business as a meat shop. Um, Meat shop is not going that well, I'll be honest. The cost to run is very high. I'm leasing the building. It's very expensive. It's actually, the lease is quite reasonable, but what's expensive is my electricity. My electricity costs more than I spend on a lease every month. And then you add in the cost of my gas for heat and hot water and my smoker, and all of a sudden it's really, really pricey. And this time of year, I don't have a lot of business, so it's really quite challenging to pay the bills. That said, I also live in a small town, so I don't have a lot of walk-in customer traffic. And in this building being as large as it is, I should be selling a lot more food, but I don't. So let's talk, I guess, as to why that is. I guess most people want convenience. I'm sure even myself and others are familiar with the concept of choosing not to do something because of the time that it takes to do said thing. For example, when I was still eating the standard diet, thinking, oh yeah, no big deal, I'll just go and get a drive-through meal. It was convenient. I'd swing by a Dairy Queen or wherever, and I'd pick up a meal with a milkshake and whatever, and I just move on and didn't think anything of it. And that kind of led me to some of the health problems that I'm dealing with. But for most of us, it's the same. It's convenience, right? They don't bake bread anymore because the bread is available at the grocery store, for example, right? Lots of those kinds of things. Most of us do things for efficiency. We tend to think in terms of what can we get the most out of the thing that we're putting our energy towards, so that we don't overexert in ways that we don't need to. It just makes sense. But because of that, as a general rule, I'd say that people have gotten really kind of lazy with how they go about their life. They got comfortable and they stopped doing things that they need to be doing for themselves. Things like getting exercise, or things like, because it's hard, right? You got to make yourself do it, because nobody's going to make you do it for you. You know what I mean? So just everything is about convenience and ease and everything. And one of the things that I've learned is that it's sometimes a lot harder to not do the things that you're supposed to do, because later, well, it becomes a bigger problem. So you end up having to kind of just remember on a day-to-day basis to, I guess, just get shit done. I mean, don't waste time. Something comes up, don't put it off, don't procrastinate, just get her done. And that's one of the things. But that whole mentality of convenience is why my meat shop is struggling. And let me explain. I sell just meat. I don't sell shoes. I don't sell clothing. I don't sell toothpaste. I don't sell hygienic equipment or things. I don't sell pills. I sell just meat. I cut and wrap for farmers and hunters and regular customers, and they come in, they buy a steak or a roast or this or that. But that's it. But Walmart also sells all that stuff. They're cheaper, and they have everything in the one place. And so they get all the government tax breaks. They get all the help whenever they need it, because there's such a huge amount of money that they give to the government for, taxes and whatever, because of all the workers that work there and everything else. They get everything that they need. And so Walmart, Costco, Superstore or all the Loblaw stores here in Canada. All these stores are so they're so large and they contain every product that people use that most people, out of convenience, will choose to just make the one stop at the one store and off they go. Gone are the days when people would have a booklet full of coupons and they shop at every different store to get all the deals. Because now it doesn't make sense. All the businesses are pretty close to the same prices, even on sale. They tend to rotate their sales, but it's almost like they're working together to make sure that none of them steps on the other toes. And all the small businesses like mine and others suffer. You know, there used to be cobblers everywhere. People would make shoes. You could find somebody who would make shoes just about everywhere. Not that long ago, now, good luck. I've got a pair of boots I need repaired. Throw them out, buy a new pair. Small businesses are gone, right? They're just gone, and it's a problem, especially for food, like what I do. And so, without some supports and without the people behind me, I'm going to disappear, and my business is going to disappear. I certainly can't stay in a building this size, and in order to continue doing my trade, I need to have power, and a cooler and refrigeration, and all of that stuff costs a lot of money, and it's not that easy to just set up anywhere you want without breaking some what I would consider some serious food rules, like proper refrigeration is important. So, I could probably cut meat from my kitchen table, but that's not certainly something that most people would be excited to hear I do for people, right? You have a cooler? Great. You have a freezer? Great. But I don't have those things if I don't have this building. And lots of these small shops like mine are in that situation. The shop's trying to start up everywhere, but there's no competition for the big stores, really. Like you can't compete with them. Their buying power means that they can contact the big slaughter facilities and they can buy all this meat block ready, so they don't even have to buy hinds or sides of beef for grocery stores anymore, right? They go straight block ready, and then they just cut everything at the store level. And the stores that don't do that, the bigger stores, they have a warehouse where they have their own cutters cutting everything, packaging everything, and then they ship everything already packaged to stores like Walmart, and then they don't have to actually price anything or do anything, and then they just get clerks to just stock the shelves, and you don't even have to have a cutter. Like you go to a Walmart now and you ask the person in the meat department what do they know about certain types of meat, and they're not going to have any answers for you. They're not going to be able to tell you how to cook a brisket. They're not going to be able to teach you how to cook short ribs. They're not going to be able to teach you anything because they don't know anything, because they're out of high school and they're just meat clerks, right? And the meat departments are shrinking. Like you're getting less and less meat products in these big stores because people are choosing to avoid eating meat to save money so that they can afford to eat other stuff and more of it because, well, carbs are addicting, but also you can buy pasta for pretty cheap compared to a steak. So, and it goes a lot further when you're trying to feed your family, and people don't see how easy it could be to just be a carnivore, right? Just cook a big roast for your family and everybody share a big roast, right? But if you got a family of 6 or 7 and you got and you want to cook a big roast at a half pound per person, you're going to need like a 12-pound roast or 3-4 pound roasts, right? To cook for everybody. And so like it can get pretty expensive, right? So people also don't realize, like, in the exclusion of all the other stuff, that it's actually pretty affordable to just eat meat, but they don't do it because why would they? They're not educated to understand how our bodies operate with our metabolism and our nutrition. So they just eat whatever's convenient, like what I used to do. I used to eat ramen noodles constantly. Like that was my every night, my supper for years. Like that's what I did. And it didn't do me any good. Certainly not. I got fat, I got lazy, I had brain fog, I was depressed all the time, there was anxiety, I wouldn't even go out in public. I was so scared of people. I'd start to have like not quite panic attacks, but I would start to get like my heart would race and I'd start to sweat whenever I had to be in a situation with people around me. That's not the case anymore. I mean, I went through some changes before I found carnivore, but I'd say that the majority of how I feel today is because of carnivore. Um, but I wanna keep myself in business, and I want to feed people this food that is what's appropriate for humans. But I've got no supports. Um, Government doesn't care. The health and pharmaceutical industry has convinced everybody that fiber is important and that meat can cause problems and whatever. And I mean, we should all of us who would follow um, carnivore doctors and various things understand like it's not like that at all. Um, with meat, it doesn't make any sense to even say it. So it's just one of those things. I'd like to stay in business, but I've decided that if the economy continues the direction it's going, and the culture, especially in Canada, around meat is dramatically changing. We've got most of our immigration, for example, in Canada is coming from countries where they don't eat beef, and so they come to Canada, and I mean they don't buy the meat. So yeah, we have lots of people in lots of places, but they're not eating beef. So you're finding in grocery stores, because the beef would go bad, they don't bring it in, right? Because the store is not going to sell what's not selling to stay in business, which makes sense, right? But we're turning into a society of vegetarians and vegans here. And it's really kind of sad because we're getting sicker and sicker and sicker, and we can all see it. Um, as hard as it is for some people to understand and believe it, nobody's getting healthier, right? You shouldn't get sicker as you get older, right? I mean, the human body, it shouldn't just be like, oh, I'm 55 now, I'm gonna have a stroke, and that's it, done, see ya. Like it's not normal. Um, we should be able to live quite a bit longer than that. And well, that's my hope, is that I can live longer than that. I'm 41 now, and we'll see, right? I've only been on this diet now for 100 days ish. Um, November 1st. Let's ask Siri. Siri will know. Hey Siri, how many days have there been since November 1st? Well, it doesn't tell me for some reason. 98 days ago. 98 days ago. So 2 more days is 100 days for me. And so I'm feeling good. I shaved because I have a picture when I moved here to start the business. I have a picture of me moving out here where I was shaved, and I wanted a picture of me today, well, from a couple days ago after I shaved, to see the differences in my face. And there's definitely some differences. When I figured out how to do the editing and all that kind of stuff, I will eventually have pictures and do a nice video to show my journey and various things. But as far as things go right now, I'm doing great. Otherwise, I'm very happy with the current condition of my health. I am improving daily. I'm noticing my skin feels different in lots of different places because the fat below the skin is vanishing. So I'm getting droopy skin in some spots on my body and starting to look like, the wrinkly skin on a dog, in some places. Which is probably a good thing, because when my body starts to tighten up some of the skin, I mean, I'm going to look a lot thinner. This is just unbelievable to me. I've never felt this way in my life. So, for anybody curious, as far as my exercise routines and things, There's a YouTuber that I do follow. He does excellent videos. He's a very intelligent guy. I highly respect him. I followed his videos for a long time, mostly because the way he does his videos is really quite entertaining, as well as educational. He's got his own likes. I haven't purchased it myself, and I might in the future, but for the most part, he's so thorough with his descriptions of exercises and things that we can do to keep ourselves healthy, that just watching his videos and following through on a few of the things that he talks about just helps miles and miles more than doing nothing. Anyway, the guy's name is the Bioneer. He's from England, I believe, or the UK. I guess it's the same place. But he talks a lot about functional movement, just being able to bend and twist and lift and push and pull and run and jump and duck and all of those basic human movements that we would otherwise normally be able to do, but because of the various modern things that we have today, things like chairs and toilets, we lose the ability to squat. Where squatting should be something that we should be able to do very naturally, because otherwise, how do you go to the bathroom 2,000 years ago, right? So things like that. Anyway, so it's been quite an interesting journey following his videos, working with the carnivore diet and watching some of the other stuff. And I have to tell you, it's been just amazing. I'm super thankful that there's all these resources available that I've been able to learn and study and stay motivated with, because some of these guys, they motivate you. Motivation is a big one for a lot of people, and sometimes you don't motivate yourself that easily until you start to see changes, and then all of a sudden it becomes exciting, and then you build up some momentum and away you go, right? But no, like, it helps. So I recommend the Bioneer for anybody who's looking to get some physical activity into their curriculum or into their lifestyle. He's got really basic things. You can spend 10 minutes a day just doing one movement, whatever it is, right? Do squats for 10 minutes in the day, and then call it good. Next day, do something else, right? Train a little bit every day. Just pick something and do it. And he's one of the biggest reasons why I've noticed massive improvements in my ability to do things. And then obviously there's a few other fitness influencers that I do follow that are incredibly good too, if anybody's curious about those as well. So, but yeah. Anyway, as far as the rest of my plans here, it's currently February. I'm going to just keep eating meat, keep working out. It's middle of winter still. I can't even go outside and do very much yet. It's minus 25 right now, not including wind chill. Get frostbite in just a few minutes if you're not careful. It's pretty chilly, but that's the nature of living in the north, right? Thankfully, we don't have to deal with any White Walkers or anything like that. But yeah, it's been a fun journey so far. Only 3 months in, some people are already telling me they don't recognize me, so that's cool. I guess just keep on keeping on, and see what the future holds, I guess. So anyway, guys, with that, I just wanted to say thank you very much. This is a longer video than I was expecting, and hopefully it was coherent. I don't have too much more to add. I appreciate everything that y'all do, and make sure you eat well, live well, have a good time, and don't forget that if you like what I do, if you like the way I talk, like and subscribe and get more content. Thanks a lot, guys. Bye-bye.